Reverence, the Sacrifice Play. August 21st, 2019. Wait. Onyx, what do you mean? I mean, your old friends from 12 years ago are back. You know those Pegasus and Earth Pony bastards that ran my stock up the spiked wall, rump first? Them. Do they know everything, though? You said it yourself. What happened? We tried throwing them off, but it's to no avail. They have no interest in the diamond pearls anymore. My business is nothing to them. They're only after one pony, and one pony only. And Hematite? He was not a dragon of his word. He gave them the location. They're on their way up to Central Equestria to find her themselves. God damn it. Okay, so what do they want? They're gonna go after Twilight, and then what? Then who fucking knows what, Delta? We're all in deep lava right now. We can't go toe-to-toe with rogue or former royal guards and Las Pegasus mercenaries. We'll be overwhelmed. Shit. This is bad, Delta. Yeah, no kidding. If Darkon and Livergaze get their hooves on Twilight, it may very well be game over for Equestria's current generation. But what are we gonna do? You know better than I that we can't let them take her, even if she deserves the punishment she'll endure in their grasp. Yeah, I know. Fucking... I guess I'll have to... I don't know, postpone the deal between us? Twilight and her friends, and now that they know what she's done, can't use the elements of harmony. There's too much of a barrier between them. So, you're coming back? September 18th, 2019. Listen, please. I know what I said I'd do. I know I told you that I'd move on from this, and I have. We're here, in Silver Shoals, raising two healthy and happy foals. We started over and made it better when we did it in the past. The slate has been completely wiped clean for us, but I can't ignore this. Darling, please, look at me. It was the only thing I could do. Either we go back one last time, or we risk losing the entire nation. I don't want you to come with me. You need to stay here. Look after the foals. I told you once before that the past will always haunt us. That we'll eventually have to look back on it again. That time is now. It's either everyone or one stallion. Onyx told me everything, told me what was happening and when and where. I know what I have to do, and it isn't even a choice. We're the only ones that are aware of Liverdon and Darkon coming for her. Do you really want our foals to die under the reign of two sociopathic crime syndicates? Or do you want them to live knowing their father put everything on the line to make sure that they had their chance? It's all happening back in Ponyville. Trust me on this. I would never put us in danger. You know that. Nothing's gonna go wrong. Nothing. It's all already done, Blazedawn. It's over, honey. You're out. But I'm not. You still have the chance to be happy, be normal, and raise these foals to be the best that they can be. I have to go. Be good and true to yourself. Teach these foals what I couldn't. I love you, Blaze. September 30th, 2019. 5 years have passed since Twilight had been confronted by her demons of the past. 5 whole years since she had to work her flank off in order to rekindle the friendships she had with the other element bearers and even the princesses. In that time, they've still been able to band together and repel threats to Equestria, but the barrier of shattered trust was still present and as powerful as ever. Twilight has done a lot between then and now. She had defeated Chrysalis yet again, befriended a misunderstood villain named Starlight Glimmer, and even, with the aid of the Young Six, thwarted Cozy Glow's plan to sap Equestria of all its magic. Despite her actions speaking louder than words, none still spoke louder than the indirect murders of 12 years ago. Old friends died for her to make new ones. Old adversaries worked with her, so that she could become the monarch of the very thing she forsook.
Delta was right. That really is ironic.
Twilight stood at the balcony of her castle, her somber expression staring out at the land before her. Ponies, old and new, strode around Ponyville with open vigor and friendliness. This quaint little country town was about the friendliest and most welcoming place she had ever come across, and it was a place that she didn't belong. Her heroism is a mask. Her nature is ran anew by the snake she truly was. She may have been the elements of magic, but that was no emotion. It was no entitled integrity like the other elements were to her new friends. Honesty, loyalty, generosity, kindness, and laughter. All things she could never bring back then, and now. She closed her eyes as she sat on her haunches, her head hung in sorrow. As she did so, several shadows peeked up from over the top of the castle, looking down at her.
We found her. She's alone. Moving in on the target.
Delta had journeyed far to come back to where this all had ended. The Silver Shoals may have been a part of Equestria, but it wasn't part of the mainland, nor was it marked on the official map. Just as he wanted, it was the perfect place to disappear. But now, he had come back to settle some old scores. Having re-entered in the southwest quadrant, he made his way through the San Palomino Desert in an effort to return to the Ghastly Gorge. After traversing both it and the dangers of the bog and Everfree Forest, Delta had finally arrived in the one place he never thought he'd find himself in. Ponyville. Many faces around there didn't know or recognize him, but he could tell the faces of the elements when he passed them. He didn't bother with them, as his mission is with the false princess, not the links of the main elements of harmony. Making his way into Town Hall, he snuck past security and reached the bell tower atop the peak, surveying Ponyville for the third survivor. During his search, Delta's eyes managed to trail over a few other ponies on the rooftops, all facing the town's residential tree castle. Those ponies, I recognize them. He gritted his teeth as he looked up towards the castle, seeing more of Dark Khan's subordinates at the top of its weird crystal branches. Okay then, Mr. Khan, where are you? He scanned the small armada traversing the top of the town before he did a double take on one. A dark purple Pegasus stallion was walking towards the castle, unlike the others, whom were running. Yeah. There you are. Now, where's Twilight? Back to the castle again, he continued searching for the false princess, eventually finding her on a balcony, wallowing in her own sorrows. Oh, give me a break. He saw the Khan mercenaries preparing to drop from above. Charging up his horn, he pointed it towards the castle in an attempt for one hell of a sniper shot. Focusing it all to a focal point, he fired a thin stream of laser magic. Twilight Sparkle jumped out of her stupor as she heard the crackle of thunder nearby, along with the sound of a large bell ringing in the distance. When she turned to see what had happened, she fell to the side upon a narrow green laser of magic hitting a pony that was about to get the drop on her. Looking at the unconscious stallion, she widened her eyes as yet another one of her past sins had found her.
Dark Khan?
Hey! Her ears perked up as she turned to the edge of the balcony, looking off towards the town hall bell tower. A green figure waved at her, one that she recognized. If anyone's gonna kill you, old friend, it's gonna be me! Twilight's ears flattened before she jumped back, hearing movement above her. Another stallion face-planted into the floor before her as two more climbed up the rail, glaring at her with killing intent in their gazes. Another stream of green magic pushed them off, sending them sailing towards the ground. Go! Sparkle, run! Get to the Everfree! Delta fired his magic at more of the ponies working for Khan, sliding down the side of the tower and hopping to another building's rooftop. Bucking back a rogue Pegasus guard circling up behind him, he jumped down into the alley between the houses, rushing out into Ponyville streets and zapping another few flying over the town. As to be expected, he now had the full attention of the enemy and elemental allies.
Delta? What the?
Rainbow Dash yiped as a line of green struck the unicorn behind her, dropping him to the ground and smashing him through a few crates. Not a time for conversation! Help Twilight get to the Everfree, and get the other elements to help! Nodding after a moment of assessing the situation, Rainbow flew through Ponyville, avoiding or battling it out with whatever got in her way. Delta turned and made her way to the dangerous forest. As with when he arrived, he knew going through there was suicide. And that was exactly the point. The Everfree was too dangerous for the chase to continue into it, not as recklessly as through a town like this one. Sliding under some debris caused by Khan's soldiers, he spotted a yellow earth pony hopping over to him to the next building.
Shit, liver gaze.
He turned and attempted to throw off the second crime militia leader off, swerving through the maze of backyards and alleyways. As expected, Liver was as perceptive as ever, but it wasn't him he was after.
Delta!
The green unicorn's ears perked up as he felt the breeze made by a flap of wings. Looking up, he was just in time to see Twilight land beside him.
Delta, what is going on?
It's as I said, Twilight! No one else gets to have your head! The two continued running with Darkon's ponies behind them and Livergaze above them, both in hot pursuit and growing closer and closer. Luckily for them, the Everfree was just up ahead. Come on, Sparkle!
They're caning on us!
Focus on what's ahead, just forget about them! Get to the forest! Nodding, Twilight pushed herself to her limit, running with her newly made adversary as they pushed their innate magic to their legs. Just as it seemed as if they were going to get caught, they dove into the tree line, moving in and around the trees to rapidly lose their tail. Deeper and deeper they went, losing the ponies on their six with ease. No pony knew the Everfree completely, and that was to the duo's advantage and disadvantage. Thankfully, they weren't alone.
Twilight!
The element bearers, carried by Rainbow Dash and surprisingly Fluttershy, were flown in, and landed with the two, jogging beside them as they kept going. Applejack thumped down next to Delta, tilting up her head as she narrowed her eyes at the stallion.
Y'all want to tell us what all that was about?
Some more old demons coming to stab Twilight in the back. Those were the ponies she worked with to get out of Lost Pegasus 12 years ago. Rainbow flew down above him.
Wait, those were the guys who killed your friends?
Yup, and now they're back to use Twilight as leverage for authority. If they get what they want, things could get real bad. Delta pointed ahead. There's a clearing up ahead with some rocks. Climb up! Following his lead, the element bearers ascended upwards, hearing the ponies still following their trail, approaching with rapid speed and succession. Going rock after rock, each pony used their talents to get across the gaps, eventually making it to a platform near the top. Delta landed with a thud as he leaped the last bound, panting as he looked around at the others. Alright, are we all here? Honesty, loyalty, everyone? Delta got the affirmations from 5 of the 6 mares, Fluttershy remaining quiet as her eyes were locked onto something in the distance. Delta blinked, giving her a concerned look. Kindness?
Pig, scary, dragon.
All eyes turned upwards as yet another familiar face joined the fray. Hematite, now the size of a 1-story building, soared towards them, roaring out of the heavens and shaking the forest as he passed and circled around. Fuck! Fuck! Every pony get back! They turned to go back down, only to be stopped when the hoof pulled up a mercenary from Darkon's forces. The mares let out an alarmed yelp as Delta bucked him off the side of the small rocky mountain. More were climbing up or flying up over the side as Hematite reeled back his claw. Diving inward, the group took cover from the claws it scraped by, only nicking Rarity as Rainbow Dash tackled her into the small cavern, which had 4 entrances to it. Rushing to one side, they were met with Pegasi out for blood. In the forefront was Darkon himself. Looking to their right, they spotted Livergaze with an armada of earth ponies, and to their backs of where they came in, the rogue guards and mercenaries were stalking towards them. Their last and only hope for an exit, on their left, was blocked by a large draconic claw. They were surrounded and had nowhere to run. Talk about a bad spot to be in. Being in a cave, all 4 entrances are guarded. That has gotta suck in the most hostile way of claustrophobia. Anyway, I'd love to give a very special thank you to my non-claustrophobic, I think, donators. Top donator, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, Dresdon, Dospo, RuneScythe9852, CourierCruz CI, Delta Omega, Ryanny Dragonwolf, Dwight Cornel, Gagi, Secret Moon, Tallrascha, Starlight Glimmer, David D. Sanchez, Trey, Pokekiller Zach, Soul Dragon, Dak Britton, and Joe Piercy. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one.